In this video, we're going to go through on Chun Public School Preliminary Examination 2024 Mathematics Paper 1. So let's get started on the first question. Right, find the value of 400s, 5 tenths, and 6 thousandths. Right, so I'm going to write this down where 400s is equal to 4 times 100, which is 400. And then 5 tenths is equal to 5 times. So tenths is not 0.01, it's 0.1, which is equal to 0.5. And then lastly, 6 thousandths. Thousandths is equal to 6 times 0.001, which is 0.006. So therefore, 400 plus 0.5 plus 0.006 is equal to 400, right? 400 plus 0.506, which is option number this one, which is okay, 400, not plus, but just 400 and 506, right? Option number 2 in this case over here. Let's move on to question number 2. Which pair of lines in the square grid is perpendicular? Okay, so what we can do is you can use a ruler. So I'm going to use a what do you call this, a ruler of mine over here, right? So you can, maybe your ruler is this big, right? So what you can do is you can just align it to where you think the perpendicular lines are. So from here, I think AF and FE is the answer to this question over here. Okay, so there you go, EF and FE. Okay, so yeah, you can use a ruler to see if it's, you can use a ruler to see if it's perpendicular. Okay, right, that's about it. So this is my ruler. There you go. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question number 3. So the beakers below contain some water. What is the total volume of water in the beakers? Okay, so I'm going to draw this out so it's easier to see. Okay, so I've created the line so it's easier to see. So we need to know what's the total volume of the water in the both beakers. So let's find the number of gaps over here. So in this case, what we can do is we can count the number of gaps. So we have one. Oops. Okay, right, we have one over here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so in this case, 10 gaps is equal to 500 milliliters, right? And then one gap is equal to 500 divided by 10 is equal to 50 milliliters. So in this case, there is 9 gaps. So uh, let me just put it. Oh yeah, so 9 gaps equal to 50 times 9, which is 450 ml. That's what I see over here. So this is 450 ml. All right, so now the next one is we want to get the height of this. So number of gaps again, we have 1. Let me make it red, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Oh, let me just 9 and 10. So yep, so same thing over here. So 1 liter is equal to 1000 ml. Okay, and then from here we can say 10 gaps is equal to 1000 ml. One gap is equal to 1000, and then divided by 10 is equal to 100 ml. Okay, let me just put it here. So we have 8 gaps here, 9, 10. Yeah, so 8 gaps equal to 8 times 100, which is 800 ml. Okay, so over here what you can see is that both of this is calculated 450 plus 800. Okay, so 800 ml. So now we know that this is over here. All right, so total equal to 800 plus 450 is equal to 1250 ml, which is equal to 1 liter 250 ml, which in this case is option number 3. All right, that's it. Let's move to the next question. Question number 4. How many of the following figures have exactly two lines of symmetry? Two lines exactly, yeah. So um square, okay, has one. Okay, there's one, right? And then there's two, okay, and then there's three, and then there's four. Okay, so square has four lines of symmetry. Okay, parallelogram. So parallelogram has one, and then it has, let's see if this is, nope, not this one also. So it has one, no, not this one as well. So I think it's only this one, and no, not even that. It's not even symmetry at all. Yeah, that's sad. So zero lines. Okay. All right. So circle. Yeah. Is that infinite? Infinite, right? The circle has a lot. Okay. Rectangle. Rectangle has only one, and then the other one is two. That's it. So for this, let me just put rectangle a bit on top. So rectangle has two lines. So therefore, there's only one that is has exactly two lines of symmetry. Okay, let's move on to question number 5. It says here 40 there are 40 students in a class. 16 of them are Chinese and the rest are Malays. What's the ratio of number of Malay students to the total number of students? So we want to have Malays. Malays are equal to 40 minus 16, right? This is equal to 24. Then we want Malays to total, which is basically 24 is to 40. So for this, we can divide by 8. Okay, we divide by 8 for both 24 and 40, right? So this will give us 3 is to 5. Okay, so that is option number 2. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Okay, whoops. Let's go to question number 6. All right, so the pie graph shows the number of marbles in 4 boxes labeled A, B, C, and D. Which bar graph best represents the information in the pie chart? So we know that D and B is the same, C is the smallest, and A is the biggest. Okay, so let's go to each individual one. So in this case, 1 is not it. So X for 1. 2, yes, 2 is correct. B and C, yep. Okay, so let me just put this on top of each. Okay, so D and B is the same. All right, so I'll just put a tick, right? This C is the smallest. This one is cross. Okay, then A is the biggest. Then it's also cross. Okay, for D is the same. Yes. C is the smallest. Yes. A is the biggest. Yes. So this is option number 2 lah. Okay, let's go to the other one as well. Right. So for this, make it a little bit smaller. Um, D and B is the same. C is the smallest. A is the biggest. This one is correct, but A is not the biggest. Okay, so that means this is wrong. Lastly, for 4, B and D is the same. C is the biggest, right? A is the smallest. Okay, so there is a difference here. Okay, so A is the biggest, C is the smallest, right? Okay, so it's either 2 or 4. So what we need to do, okay, let me just make this a bit smaller, right? Is to see how much smaller. Okay, so in this case over here, A is basically 1, 2, 3. So A is 3, 3. Then B is 2 and 2. So this is wait, 2 and 2, right? And then C is 1. Okay, so this is the same, but C is less than 1, right? So in this case, is C less than 1. Okay, so D and B is 1/4 times 2, which is basically half. Okay, and then so D and B must be half. So if 2 and 2 is half, so that means D and B plus B must, wait, okay, must be half of total, which is correct. Okay, in this case over here, right? So lastly, D plus B must be half of total. D and B is not half. Okay, in this case, why is because, right? This is wrong. Oops. Reason is because C over here is not 1, but it's like 0.5, right? 0.5, something like this. Like this. So in this case, yeah, it's option number 2 lah. Right? So D plus B is equal to 4. Total is 3 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2 is equal to 8. Right? So, yeah. Okay, this is correct. So this one, DB is 4, 2%, and then this is 0.5. 5. So this is 7.5 in this case over here. So that means this is wrong as well. So yeah, that's not it, bruv. Okay, that's it. Let's move on to the next question. Wow, this is quite a good question, right? If people didn't know this. Okay, let's go to question 7. Right, so a machine can fill up 45 bottles in 2 minutes. At this rate, how many bottles can a machine fill up in 1 hour? So 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. So we know 2 minutes is equal to 45 bottles. Okay, so this one is equal, right? Okay, so 2 minutes, then what about 60 minutes is equal to 60 divided by, yeah, divided by 2 times 45, which is basically 30. 30 times 45. Okay, so what would this become? Okay, so what we can do is we can multiply 10 times 3 times 45. So I'm just having 45 times 3, okay, over here. So in this case, 5 times 3 is 15. Then we will put 1 over here, right? Then 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 is 13, right? 135. So let's do this. So 1 equal to 10 times 135, oops, equals to 10 times 135, which is equal to 1350. There you go. So it's option number 2. All right, let's move on to the next question. All right, so question 8, what is the value of 30 divided by 6,000? So it's, I'm just writing here so it's easier to see. So 30 divided by 6,000. So what we can do is we can cancel the zeros lah, right? So just cancel the zeros and cancel another 0. So this would then become 3 divided by 6 divided by 100. Okay, so if I were to just put here 600, okay, so 0 0.5, 3 divided by 6 is 0 0.5 divided by 100. Then you put 2 decimal place, which is 0.005 in this case over here. So the answer is option number 4. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question number 9. Arrange these volumes from smallest to greatest. That's what you see over here. All right, so I want to convert this to milliliters. Okay, so for 435 liters, so let's try 3 over 5 and then times 1000. Okay, so 3 out of 5. Oops, what's this? Right, so 3 over 5. Okay, give me a second. Okay, so 3 over 5 times 1 liter, which is equal to 3 over 5 times 1000, milliliters, which is equal to uh, 3 times 1000, then divided by 500. Wait, sorry, divided by 5. Okay, which is 3 times 200, which is 600 milliliters in this case over here. Okay, so now we know what is 4, 3 out of 5 equal to, right? Which is, so this will be equal to 4 liters and 600 ml. Okay, now next one is 4.35 liters. So 0.35 liters is equal to um 0.35 times 1000, and this will then become 350 milliliters. So in this case, this will be 4 liters and 350 ml. 350 ml. That's what I see over here. Okay, so now we know the different milliliters for each of these individual values. Now we know who's the smallest and who's the largest. So this one is the smallest and the largest is this one. Okay, largest. So in this case, smallest is 5305, largest 53 over 5. So option number 2 for question number 9. Okay, that's it. All right, let's move on to question number 10. Okay, the quarter circle has a radius of 20 centimeters. What is the perimeter of the quarter circle? Take pi as 3.14. So we know that this is 20 centimeters, right, as well. And then we want to get this, right? So a quarter circle per perimeter is 1/4 times 2, and then times pi, right? Pi, and then times radius. So let's do 1/4 times 2 times 3.14 times radius is 20. Okay, so in this case we can have 1/4 and 20. So let me just do this. So it's easier. 1/4 times 2 times 20 times 3.14, because I like to do this. So 1/4 times 40 times 3.14. So this will then become 10 times 3.14, sorry, and this will then become 31.4. Okay, so let's give the total, which is 20 plus 20 plus 3 1.4, which is 71.4 centimeters. Okay, and the answer is option number 3 for question number 10. Right, let's move on to the next question. All right, so question 11. At 12 noon, Alan and Jacob ran along a 9 km track in opposite directions. Alan met Jacob when Alan completed 4 kilometers of the track. Jacob took 45 minutes to complete the entire track. At what time did they meet? All right, so visually it looks something like this. So Alan and what Jacob met at 4 kilometers. So that means Alan is 4 kilometers and Jacob ran 5 kilometers as well. So Jacob took around 45 minutes to complete the entire track over here. I don't know why this is not moving, but yep. So what this means is that the 9 kilometers, he took 45 minutes. So Jacob's speed is equal to 45 divided by 9, right? Which is equal to 5 minutes per km. So that means okay, yeah. I don't know if this is speed, but in this case then Jacob met at 5 km, right? Which is basically 5 times 5, which is 25 minutes. So that means what time they met is equal to 12 plus 12 0 12 p.m. plus 25 minutes is equal to 12:25 p.m. Right, there you go. So that's the answer, option number 3. Let's move on to question 12. Okay, the figure below shows the different views of the same cube. A different shape is printed on each face of the cube. The net of the cube is shown below. Only the shape on one of the faces cube is shown, which is the circle. That's what you see over here. All right. So which of the following shape is represented by the letter A? So this circle over here, beside it there is an X. Okay, and then we have a. Okay, I don't know what this is. Or is this a circle? Okay, so in this case, um, right, so how I do this is basically, let me just visualize a bit. Okay, so one thing I know is that the X is pretty consistent. So I'll just put the X on top, right? So I'm just going to put X on top here. Okay, and then I'm just going to draw out its layout. Okay, so in this case over here, let me just copy and paste. So X has a circle and a square. So I'm going to put the normal square here. Okay, normal square. And then beside the normal square, it has the dirty square. I call it the dirty square. Oops. Okay, so this is the, oops. This is the dirty square. Just put a dot here. And then beside the square, there is the circle. So let me just copy this and paste it over here. So instead of this, okay, we have the circle as well, right? And then lastly, this X is flipped to the right and we have the circle. That means it's beside this, which is the dirty circle as well. Okay, so I'm going to put a dot to make it dirty circle. Okay, so now sadly, if you have transparent like me, I'm going to use this as a visualization. So you see over here, we have the thing. So I can also flip this as well, right? So now the X is over here where the different shapes are there. So with that said, the circle now has its place and we have the X. So with that said, A, what is A possibly can be, which is this dirty circle. So the answer is option number 4 in this case over here. Power of tools. All right, let's move on to question number 13. Okay, so question number 13, it says a number when divided by 20 gives a remainder 9. Which of the following can be added to the number to change it to the multiple of 5? So when a number, so I mean the number can be basically 29, right? So 29 divided by 20 will give you one remainder. The easiest, all right, 9, right? Easiest example I can give you. Which of the following can be added to the number? So number is 29. Okay, so I will say, so example 29 is the number, because any number will work, to be honest. Okay, so but you make sure that you have remainder 9, so can be added to the number to change it to a multiple of 5. So this is 29, so that means to change to multiple of 5 must make last digit 5. So 29 will then become 35. So that means 35 minus 29 is equal to 6. Okay, so the answer is option number 1, like this. All right, so yeah, that's it. Let's move on to question 14. Okay, the figure below is made out of a rectangle. 2/9 of the rectangle and 1/5 of the triangle is shaded. So what fraction of the figure is shaded? So in this case over here, 2/9 of rectangle is equal to 1/5 of a triangle, right? So this is the, I call equal fraction concept. Okay, equal fraction concept. So in this case over here, we need to make numerators the same. Okay, in this case over here, so this is step 1, right? Step 1, make the numerators the same. So in this case over here, we will just make this 2 out of 10, right? Okay, right. So now step 2 is to make, okay, step 1 is to make this one. Okay, step 2 is to um, convert to units. Okay, so what is, oh, he, right, 2 out of 10. Okay, convert to units. So that means rectangle, rectangle, rectangle is equal to 9 units, and then triangle is equal to 10 units. Right, so this is a very common question. All right, so what's the total units? Okay, so I'm gonna write here, since overlapped, need to minus shaded. Okay, let me just put here shaded units. Okay, so let me just put this as small. I'm gonna create this. Okay, so that means total is equal to 9 plus 10 minus 2. Okay, new minus shaded units from total. Okay, so 9 plus 10 minus 2, which in this case is 17 units. So what's the fraction shaded? Fraction shaded is equal to 2 out of 17. So in this case, the answer is option number 3. Okay, that's it. Okay, and then I'll just put here shaded equal to 2 units. Okay, let's move on to question 15. There were some children at the carnival. One third of the boys and one quarter of the girls went for a ride. 3/8 of the children who went for the ride were girls. What fraction of the children went for the ride? Alright, so for this 3/8, so girls, oh, girls is equal to girls went for a ride is 3/8 of the children who went for the ride. Girls went for the ride is 3/8. So convert to units. So that means girls went for a ride is equal to 3. Total went for a ride is equal to 8 units. Okay, 3 units. And then boys went for a ride is 8 minus 3 is equal to 5 units. Okay, so girls went for a ride. Okay, so now with this, we know that what fraction of children went. So 1/4 girls uh, went for a ride is equal to 3 units. So 4 out of 4. So 1/4 of girls is 3 units. So I'm going to put bracket. Okay, so that means 4 of 4 girls who didn't go, right, is basically 3 times 4, which is equal to 12 units. So 1/3 boys went for a ride. I'll say total lah, easier. Okay, all right, great. Total. So one went for a ride, which is 5 units, and then 3 out of 3 total boys. Okay, which is basically 3 times, okay, 5 times 3, 15 units. Okay, so what fraction went for the ride? Basically total children is equal to 12 plus 15, which is 27, right? And then yeah, so fraction went is equal to 8 out of 27 for, right, 8 out of 7, 27, which is basically, I don't think 27, yeah, so basically 8 out of 27 lah, option number 2. Okay, there you go, that's it. All right, so let's move on to question number 16. All right, it says here express 1.7 as a percentage. So that means this is equal to 1, right? And then 7 oh yeah, plus 0.7, right? So 1 plus 7 out of 10, which is equal to 1 plus 70 out of 100. And what is 1? 1 is 100 over 100 plus 70 out of 100. Okay, then we can convert this into percentages. So this will be 100% plus 70 which is equal to 170%. Okay, there you go. So the answer to this is 170%. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question 17. All right, so find the value of 3 out of 8 divided by 6. Give your answer as a fraction. So 3 out of 8, and then we have divide by 6. Simplest form, right? Okay, so in this case, we can just do this. So this will equal to, right, 6. So we need to multiply this, right? Multiply, and 6 will no longer be 6, but it will be 1 over 6, right? So you flip it whenever you do this. All right. So now we can cancel some stuff. So 6 will then be 2, right? Oops. 2. And then 3 will then be just 1, right? So now we can just multiply. So 1 over 8 times 2, which is 1 over 16. So I'm just going to use this instead. 1 over 16. And that's the answer. All right, there you go. That's it. Let's move on to the next question. Question 18. Indra had 3/4 of white rice, 3/4 of kg of white rice, and 4/5 kg of brown rice. What was the total mass of the rice Indra had? Give your answer as a mixed number in the simplest form. Right, so total is equal to, right? So 3 out of 4. Okay. And then you can add plus, oh no, not divide, plus 4 out of 5. Okay, 4 out of 5. Why is it in equal to? So this should be plus. Okay, so for this, what is the lowest common multiple for 4 and 5? So it's just 20. Okay, so what we can do is we will multiply by 5 for the first fraction. So multiply by 5, right? And then multiply by 5. Okay, then we can multiply by 4 here, and then same thing over here, we can multiply by 4, right? In this case over here. So now this will then become, okay, let me just put a total here. So 3 times 5 will be equal to 15, right? So 15 out of 20. And then for this 4 over 5, this will then become 4 times 4 will be 16 over 20. Okay, so now we can add them together. So what's 15 plus 16? This becomes 31, right? So we have 31 out of 20. So 31 out of 20. So we can divide this, essentially just 31 minus 20, because that's only the one. So this will then become 1. Then 20 minus 31 is 11. Okay, so let's do this again. So instead of 31, this will be 11 out of 20. Okay, there you go. So that's your answer, 11 out of 20. All right, that's it. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 19. So a pen costs 45 cents. What is the total cost of 80 such pens? Okay, so one pen is equal to $0.45. So I'll just do 80. Pen is equal to 80 times 0.45. Okay, so we can just multiply 45 times 80 times 8 instead. Okay, so in this case, 5 times 4 will be, sorry, 5 times 8 equal to 40. So let me just put here. Right, okay, I'll just put here. So 5 times 4 equal to 40, 0. And then we put 4 here, right? So 5 times 8 is 40. 4 times 8 equal to 32. Then this will become 36. 360. 4, 4, yes. 94, yes, correct. 360. So that means it's 80 is just 10 times 8 times 0.45, which is basically 360. So that means this is 10 times 3.6, which is equal to $36. All right, there you go. The answer is $36. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, question 20. Or did I scroll too fast? All right, so question 20. Some unique cubes are used to form solid X. How many unique cubes are used to form solid X? Okay, so we go layer by layer. First layer is equal to, so it's just 1, 2, 3. It should be 9. Okay, and then over here, then second layer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it should be 6. And then third layer is just 3. Okay, 3. So this is third, this is second, and this is first. So total is equal to 3 plus 6 plus 9. This is 18. Right? 19, 18. So the answer is 18. Alright, that's it. Let's move on to the next question. Question 21. Okay, so it says here the table shows the result of a survey. Number of children who can cycle, 27. Boys and girls is 14. Number who cannot cycle, 13 boys, 26 girls. What fraction of children can cycle? So total children is equal to 27 plus 14. 14 plus 13 plus 26. Okay, so I'm gonna do this, just rearrange them so it's easier for me to calculate. So 13, okay, and then 14. Okay, that's simple. So this is basically 80 lah, right? So 27 plus 13 is 40, 14 plus 26 is 40, so it's 80. So the children is 80, so fraction can cycle. So can cycle is equal to 27, equal to 27 plus 14. This will give us 41. 27. So the answer fraction 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 can cycle is equal to 41 out of 80. Okay, I'm gonna do the actual fraction. 41 out of 80 in this case over here. All right. Okay, there you go. So the answer is 41 out of 80. Okay. Okay, let's move to the next question. Question 22. Right, a flask was filled with 1.05 liters of water. 250 ml of water was poured out from the flask. How many liters of water was left? Okay, so 250 ml is equal to 250. Actually, easier is 1.05 liters equal to 1050 ml. Okay, so to make it a bit easier to refresh your memory, just times 1000 equal to 1050 ml. So water left is equal to 1050 minus 250, which is equal to 1010. Okay, so this will be 800 ml. Okay, which is equal to 0.8 liters. Okay, so that's your answer, 0.8 liters. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question 23. The average of three numbers is 38. One of the numbers is P. Find the average of the other two numbers. Leave your answer is P. So average of the other two numbers. So total numbers is equal to 3 times 38, which is equal to 76 plus 38. Okay, lah, so it's 24, 9114. Okay, let me just double confirm. 38 times 3. Okay, so in this case, 8 times 3 is equal to 24. And we will put 2 here. So 3 times 3 is 9 plus 2 is 11. Okay, so 114. Okay, so this is 114. All right, so number with total, not numbers are total. So total without P is equal to 114 minus P, and then average of two numbers is equal to 114 minus P, and then divided by 2. So you can give answer in terms of P, right? So you can put this as fraction as well. Okay, you can put 114 out of 2 lah, right? Easier lah. Okay, divide by 2. Okay, so 114. Okay, and then this divided by 2 is the same as this lah. Okay, if you put divide by 2, I think it's also okay. So you can also further simplify it as well. All right, that's it. Let's move on to question 24. The shaded triangle below is drawn on a 1 centimeter square grid. What is the area of the shaded triangle? Okay, so in this case, what we can do is we can calculate this box. Let me see if we can have it no base that I can work with. Set live. Okay, so in essence, we need to just get okay. All right, so we can get the total. Is it a square? I think it's a square. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a rectangle. So this is 5 and this is 4. Okay, so that means total. I mean, this is rectangle. Area of rectangle is equal to 5 times 4 is equal to 20. Okay, centimeter square minus 5 times 4, and then we can get the rest of the thing. So this is 2, this is 2 as well. All right, and this is 5, 5, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 4. Oh, great, cancelled mine. 2, this is 5, right? This is 1. And this is 4. Okay, I can. Okay, great. So try area of three triangles is equal to half times 2 times 4. Okay, and then we plus half, plus oops plus half times 2 times 5, and then plus half times 1 times 4. Okay, so this is equal to half times 4. This will be 4 plus 5 plus 2, and this will then become 4 plus 5 plus 2 equal to 11 centimeter square, right? Oops, square. Okay, so with that, shaded triangle is equal to 20 minus 11 equal to 9 centimeter square. There you go. So that's the answer, 9 centimeter square. Oops, I just don't need the centimeter. Okay, let's move to the next question. Question 25. All right, it says here a rectangular tank is 16 centimeter long and 10 centimeter wide. It contains 2 liters when it's half full. What is the height of the tank? Okay, so let's get a base area. Base area is equal to 16 times 10, which is 160 centimeter square. Okay, so now we know that half full is equal to 2 liters. Then full is equal to 2 times 2, which is 4 liters. So what is the height of the tank? So that means this will be 4000 milliliters. So height is equal to volume divided by base area. Okay, base area. So in this case, this will then be equal to 4000, right? And then divided by base area, which is 160. 60. Okay, let's see what this will give us. So let's cancel this. Let's cancel this. And then let's have 400 divided by 16. Okay, so 16 divided by, or 400 divided by 16. Okay, let's do this so it's easier. So we can, we can cancel. Let me just use my lines. So we can cancel this. Okay, we or divide this by 4 and then divide this by 4. Okay, and this will give us, right, 100 over 4. Okay, that's much easier to calculate. Okay, and then this will then become 25. 100 over 4 is 25 centimeter. Okay, okay, there you go. So that's the answer. Phew, I thought it was gonna be harder, but 25 centimeter. All right, so that's it. So it's 25 centimeters. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question 26. Taylor makes 8 shirts and 5 blouses. She sews 6 red buttons on each shirt and 4 green buttons on each blouse. So color of buttons, number of buttons in the box, price per box. What is the least amount of money she has to pay for all the red and green buttons she needs? Okay, so total red buttons is equal to, so shirt is 8 times 6, which is equal to 48. Then total green buttons is equal to 5 times 4, 5 blouses for okay is equal to 20. All right, so um number of box, um yeah, number of red button box. So I just want to double confirm each is 48. Okay, it's equal to in this case 48 divided by 5 buttons, which is equal to 45, 50. So it should be right. Okay, this should be 9, 45, then remainder 3, but we need to round up to 10. Okay, then number of green button box is equal to 20 divided by 4, which is 5. Okay, so let me just put it over here. Ta-da-da. Okay, so let me double check. 8 times 6, 5 times 4, 5 blouses. Okay, 4 green, 4, so 5. Okay, great. So now number of green total cost is equal to, so rate is 10 times 1.35 plus 5 times 2.20. This will be 13.5 plus 5.22, 2 times 2, 22 times 5. So it's $11. So this will be $24.50. Okay, there you go. So that's your answer, $24.50. Okay, all right, that's it. Let's move on to the next question. Question 27. Refer to the square grid below and answer the questions. So north, so I'm going to put here north, south, then east, and then west. All right, so which point is southwest of point D? So point D over here, southwest of point D. So southwest is this way. So it should be A over here. Okay, so A. All right, and which direction is point B from point D? So point B from point D, which is this one. So point B from point D, which is west. Okay, west. All right, let's move on to question 28. There are 20 ribbons and 12 strings in a box. The total length of ribbons is equal to the total length of the strings. Each string is 10 centimeter longer than each ribbon. What's the length of a ribbon? We can do simultaneous equation. So what we can do is we can say let R be ribbons, let 12 be strings. Okay, so we know that 20 ribbons times the length, right? So each string, so string is equal to 10 plus each ribbon. So 10 centimeter longer than each ribbon. So 10 centimeter longer plus each ribbon over here, right? So that means centimeter. Okay, so 12. I don't know why we put 12. Strings, S be strings. Okay, so S is equal to 10 centimeter plus R. So that's the length, right? Okay, so that means let R be ribbon length and let S be string length. Okay, all right, now this makes sense. So that means 20 R is equal to 12S. So 20 R is equal to 12 times 10 plus R, okay, and then that means 20 R is equal to 120 plus 12R. So that means 20R minus 12R is equal to 120. So let me just double confirm. One string is 10 centimeter longer than each ribbon. So okay, so 20R is equal to 12S, 12S 120, 12R. Okay, great. So everything looks good. So that means 8R is equal to 120. So what's the length of one ribbon? 1R is equal to 120 120 divided by 8, which is equal to 120 divided by 4 divided by 2. Okay, equal to 30 divided by 2 is equal to 15. Boo, 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 boo. Let me just put everything down here so it's easier to see. Da, 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 da. Okay, so this is how I calculate without really calculating. Okay. Without using workings, but this is very accurate. Okay, there you go. That's the answer for 28. Okay, let's move on to question 29. Right. So Tim had an equal number of red and blue stickers. He gave 51 red stickers and 27 blue stickers to John. He gave the rest of the stickers to Hiram. Hiram had 2/5 as many red stickers as blue stickers. How many stickers did Tim give to Hiram? All right, so what we can do is we can say let one unit be uh, red and blue stickers at first, right? Or let me just separate out the number of red. So I'm gonna copy this of blue stickers at first. Okay. All right. So I just want to make it very obvious. Okay, so he gave away 51 red stickers to John. He gave the rest to Hiram. So Hiram gets 1 unit minus 51. So this Hiram red, and then the next one is blue. Okay, so blue. Okay, it's blue. So that means when I say Hiram had 2/5 as many red as blue. Okay, so when Hiram say 2/5 as many red as blue, so that means red is equal to 2/5 of blue, right? In this case over here. So if you were to multiply, it's like 5 red is equal to 2 blue instead. Okay, so with that said, we can just 5 times red, which is 1 unit minus 51, and then equal to what do you call this? Blue is 2, with times 1 unit minus 27. Okay, so that means 5 units minus 51 minus 5 is 255 equal to 2 units minus minus 54. So 5 units minus 2 units will be 5 units minus 2 units will be 255 minus 54. Okay, then this will then become 3 units equal to 255 minus 54 is 201. So 1 unit is equal to 201 divided by 3. So can you do the working? 201 divided by 3. Okay, so in this case, we can zoom in a bit more. So this will then minus 18, right? So this will be 6. And then after that, with this 20 minus 18 will be 2. And then we bring out, 2. And then we bring out 1, right? So we can minus 21. So this would then become 67. All right, so 21, 201, 67. Okay, so then how much did stickers, so team give to Hiram? So it's basically this total, this whole thing, right? So stickers given to Hiram is basically bracket 1 unit. So this one, 1 unit plus 51, right? 1 unit minus, 51, and 1 unit minus 27 in this case. So that means this is 67 minus 51 plus 67 minus 27. So 67 minus 51 is 16 plus 67, 40. This will be 56. Right, there you go. That's your answer, 56. All right, let's move to the last question. Okay, last question. In the square grid below, a square JKLM is shown, has been drawn. JM forms one side of the triangle JMA. So I complete the drawing of a triangle JMA such that the area of JMA is one third of JKLM. So triangle JMA does not overlap with square JKLM, right? So let's calculate what's the area of this. Okay, so we can see that this is like a one quarter of a triangle. Okay, so we have, let me just draw one. Oh, I can I can draw this one. Okay, so this is basically four triangles over here. So okay, something like this. So we have one, two, three, three, and then we also have one, two, three as well. It is, oops, not four but three. Right, so that means area of JKLM is equal to 4 times triangle, which is equal to 4 times half times 3 times 3, which is essentially 2, which is actually 2 times 9, and this is 18, right? So 18 squares. So area of the triangle GMA, right? Area of GMA is equal to one third times 18, which is 18 divided by 3, which is 6. Okay, so we want to get 6 worth of squares. That's what we see over here. So to get 6 worth of squares, we can basically, so is this any triangle? Right, so you see like 3 and 3, this can form another triangle, right? But if you half it, cannot, right? So in essence, we need to have basically to get 6 is half times base times height. Okay, then this for area of GME. Okay, so 6 is equal to half times base times height. So that means this half can be 6 can be 4 times 3, right? In this case over here, for 6, right? So what we can do is we can get a base of 4 and a height of 3. Okay, so in this case over here, is there another way? 4, 3 or 2, 6? 4, 3, 2, 6. So basically we need to get 12. 2, 6, 4 and 3 lah. Okay. So for this we have 3, and then the base over here. Okay, this is also like this. So this is, wait, this is 4 squares, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this over here is 4 squares. Actually, we can calculate here 4. That was so much easier. Okay, we have 4, and then we just have 3 this way. So 3 here. Okay, 3. Okay, so then we can just draw the line as what we see. So GMA is A, so that means we can draw the line like this. Okay, so 3, and this is 4. Oops. And there we go. So that's the answer. GMA. Didn't say a right angle triangle, but it's easier to draw a right angle triangle as well. Okay, so yeah, that's it. That is how we draw 30. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want more of this kind of video, subscribe down below and comment down what other things you want me to show you next. See you in the next one. Bye bye.